powerful spring storm system moved across the southern United States this week, putting parts of Texas and Louisiana under severe weather conditions that tested communities and emergency systems alike. In South Texas, particularly in and around Rio Grande City and Starr County, an intense line of thunderstorms brought destructive conditions. The National Weather Service issued warnings for southeastern Starr County, including the Rio Grande City area, where radar and storm reports showed hail up to 4.5 inches in diameter and wind gusts strong enough to damage structures, uproot trees, and disrupt daily life. The hail truck vehicles parked in driveways and lots with such concentration that dozens of cars were dented and windows were shattered. Homeowners reported significant roof damage, with shingles torn off and punctured by the relentless barrage of ice. Brick and stucco exteriors showed clear signs of impact, and some homes required temporary tarps until professional repairs can be scheduled. In the busiest part of Rio Grande City, a section of a fuel station canopy collapsed under the pounding storm conditions, crushing a vehicle that had pulled in moments earlier and forcing the business to close, while damage is evaluated. The loss of that structure served as a stark visual reminder of just how intense the storm's forces were within a remarkably short period. Winds that accompanied the storm were strong enough to send tree limbs into yards and across quiet residential streets, creating hazards both for motorists and pedestrians. Law enforcement agencies in the county reported multiple calls for service involving fallen branches on top of cars and utility lines brought low by the combined effects of wind and hail. Though the rainfall that came with this system was not the primary headline, it was heavy enough in some corridors to overwhelm roadside drainage briefly and leave water in shallow depressions along side streets. Residents were advised to avoid travel during the storm's peak, both because of the hail and because visibility dropped significantly as rain and ice blended together. Local schools and government facilities elected to close or delay operations as the storm approached and passed, prioritizing safety amid conditions that unsettled even experienced drivers. Power companies staged crews strategically throughout the county to respond quickly where damage occurred, and while most outages were brief, the volume of calls from customers reporting issues kept utility teams active well into the evening. The scale of damage assessments stretched into the next day, as homeowners began the task of documenting hail impacts for contractors and insurers alike. Residents whose homes took the brunt of the storm now face weeks of repair, from replacing broken windows to reinforcing roofs that were compromised by repeated strikes. The same weather system that pounded Texas carried moisture and instability into southwest Louisiana, where heavy rainfall led to flooding on roadways in the Baton Rouge area. Streets including Bluebonnet and Jefferson Highway saw water rise over curbs and into traffic lanes, leaving some vehicles stalled or stranded until conditions improved. Emergency personnel worked to block inundated sections of pavement and assist motorists unable to navigate through standing water. Fallen trees and downed lines were reported in parts of the region as rain-soaked soil gave way under saturated conditions. Emergency response in both states was active and immediate. In Texas, sheriff's deputies and fire units responded to numerous calls related to storm damage, clearing road obstructions, and assisting residents whose properties were impacted. Public Works, personnel, coordinated with utility crews to prioritize restoration of services and removal of hazardous debris, focusing first on thoroughfares with the highest traffic volumes. In Louisiana, police and volunteer agencies diverted waterlogged drivers away from flooded stretches and guided traffic until water levels receded. Across the affected areas, emergency management officials emphasized that preparedness and prompt reporting of damage help direct limited resources to the most critical needs without unnecessary delays. Experts attribute this storm's development to a combination of atmospheric factors favorable for severe thunderstorm formation. According to meteorologists with the National Weather Service, a strong frontal boundary moved into the region ahead of the cooler air aloft, colliding with warm, moist air drawn northward from the Gulf of Mexico. This conditions created powerful updrafts and a volatile environment for storm cells to grow rapidly in intensity. When these updrafts interact with sufficient wind shear and humidity, the potential for large hail and damaging winds increases substantially, which is exactly the pattern observed over portions of southern Texas. Looking ahead, forecasters caution that similar storm patterns remain possible as the region transitions through seasonal weather cycles. Persistent moisture and occasional frontal disturbances mean that severe thunderstorms capable of producing hail, wind, and localized flooding can still develop in coming weeks. Officials advise residents to continue monitoring official weather forecasts, ensure that emergency plans are up to date, and keep basic supplies on hand to respond quickly to watches or warnings. Clearing loose yard debris, inspecting roof and gutter systems for vulnerabilities, and having a trusted emergency contact list are among the practical measures experts recommend to help communities prepare for whatever weather comes next. Thanks for watching Severe Weather, where we break down the facts behind nature's most intense moments. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps this channel going. Hit the bell so you never miss a real, calm, and clear report. See you in the next one. Stay informed, stay safe.